Going between vegetarian and non-vegetarian, which is in fact better for health. People are changing their lifestyle in terms of what they eat every day. Nowadays, there are a number of vegetarian diets. These diets include ovo-vegetarian, where the person only eats eggs and no meat; lacto-ovo-vegetarian, where they eat dairy and egg products and no meat; lacto-vegetarian, where they eat dairy products and no eggs or meat; and last but not least, vegan, where the person only eats food from plant sources.
I'm not a vegetarian. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I do like bacon sometimes. So for the sake of bacon, um, I just wouldn't be a vegetarian. And also, I generally eat like fish or chicken, like poultry. So I really don't. I'm not that concerned. Maybe I should be, but I would really rather eat a healthy, varied, like diet instead of eating a lot of kale to make up for not having protein. And I think it's cool to be vegetarian. I think that's a good thing if you have the means and the time to cook different food, and that's cool, man.
So I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 4 years now. Well, just coming up to 4 years. Um, I guess I started because my cousins were vegetarian and I wanted to be like them, but also because I've never really been that into meat. Like it's never been that big a part of my diet. My parents have been vegetarian in the past, so they were pretty supportive. Like, I know some people's parents don't really want them to give up meat because it means that they have to like do different meals and stuff. But we've always found it quite easy. Um, I haven't really experienced that many problems with being a vegetarian. Like I know some people get iron deficiency, but that's not really something I've experienced. I think that if you just eat like a balanced diet and you make sure you get like greens in and like nuts and protein, then you should be okay. I guess it just depends on the person.
There are many reasons behind why people choose to live and breathe a vegetarian lifestyle. One reason is that many people are vegetarian because of religious or cultural reasons. Vegetarians have chosen to live this way as a result of moral and spiritual reasons, such as not wanting to hurt any animals. Others are vegetarian because maybe their body cannot process too much animal protein, which is a health issue. Last but not least, there are people who simply do not like animal meat.
So I'm not a vegetarian because I live with my dad and he eats meat a lot. But if I did live with my mom, I would probably be less. I would be more vegetarian because she doesn't eat very much meat. My dad, he's just a huge steak fanatic, so we have steak every other night. And it's just if I don't eat steak, I won't eat anything. So I'm not saying I don't like meat. I adore meat and I love eating it. I've always grown up eating meat and I've never thought of not eating meat to be an option.
Okay, so I'm not a vegetarian because, first of all, I love meat. Second of all, there's a couple of reasons, but another reason is I grew up in a family where we eat protein, meat, fish, chicken, everything, every night. And also, my brothers, they are rowers and they always eat, they need meat, and therefore we eat meat every night. And that's why I could, like, I eat meat, I love meat, and I could never give it up.
Okay, whether I'm a vegetarian or not, I was a vegetarian for about 5 years, and I've let that slip. I believe that I feel healthier when I'm eating vegetarian food. So I don't eat much meat. I eat meat maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But I found that culturally, I find it difficult when I go to my parents' house and have to refuse the food that they're eating, the food that I grew up with. So from that point of view, in a perfect world, I would prefer to be vegetarian. I prefer to be vegetarian for reasons of, care for animals. In North America, I find it much easier to be vegetarian because I disagree with the way the food is raised. But the food here in Switzerland seems to be raised a little more caringly, although obviously that is not completely the case. So I'm one of those people who's caught in between.
Most of them eat meat and fish because they want to maintain a healthy weight. Most people are under the understanding that a balanced diet is the healthiest, so a bit of everything.
I'm not a vegetarian and I could never be one because I love meat so much, and I like all foods, but just, meat and stuff like that is just so good. I could never live without it.
Celine, you've been a vegetarian for your whole life. How do you feel about this?
Well, being a vegetarian was something that I was brought up with since I was young. And as my dad was a chef, he was able to cook lots of alternative foods. So I didn't feel like I was missing out on getting protein or anything, and I had a lot of energy still as a child. And it wasn't something that, it wasn't a decision that I made independently. So as I said, it was something that I was brought up with.
So are your parents also vegetarian?
My mother isn't vegetarian, but my father raised me to be a vegetarian.
Okay. And do you ever wonder how it tastes like?
Not really, because I've never eaten meat before. I don't eat it on a daily basis, so it's not something that I crave or something that I feel that I'm missing out on. And I don't get annoyed if like my friends at the table eat meat or anything or are not vegetarian. That doesn't bother me. So it's not something that I mind. But there's a lot of alternatives, as I said, so it's not something I feel like I'm missing out on.
Okay. And what are your best sources that you use for protein?
For example, there's cheese, tofu, lentils, beans, eggs, nuts. These have a lot of protein in it, and they're very good alternatives if you're a vegetarian.
Okay, that's great. Celine, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you.
bye. People decide what they want their diet to consist of based on personal opinions. I am personally a non-vegetarian as I eat meat and fish very frequently. However, I think that being a vegetarian is perfectly healthy as long as it is equally balanced.